1 second, guys. All right. What's up, people? Oh, man. Okay. Turn my mouse around. All right. How's everybody doing? Oh, man. How's everybody doing? Move our starting soon sign out of the way. Whew. Man. I'm putting my cape down. Yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, man. This man has good handwriting. That would be a hilarious troll. Just put a sign that just says starting soon and just leave it there for like 8 hours. Oh, it'd be hilarious. People would be pissed. People would be so mad. Oh, man. Let's go. Oh, man. How you guys doing? How you guys doing today? How does the audio sound? Is the audio good? Because I've actually got a microphone right up here, and I feel like I might need to adjust it a smidge. Hold on a second. You might hear it. There we go. Okay. Donnie Cates is going to be on Thor? That guy's writing everything. The Starbucks board? What are you talking about? Nice shirt. Does it come in black? Yes. You can actually get the shirt. Hold on a second. Rob Core. We know comics. That's what it says. Oh, man. Pretty crazy. Oh, man. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's see. Crazy. Okay. Let's get ourselves in focus. Let's get going. Yeah, we're getting tons of people in here. The audio's good? Okay. I'm glad. I actually have this curtain behind me, this sound dampening curtain behind me. Before it was really, really echoey. Yeah, we just started basically. We just kicked everything in. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what's going on with the idea of a podcast. Like, what's the whole notion behind this? You know, new podcast setup plus a Q&A session. And I probably should put some more soundproofing over on this side, so that I kind of get it all just sort of covered. I could just totally immerse myself in it. But as you guys can tell behind me, this is basically the bar area of my house. Those of you guys who have seen the house tour that I have on my personal channel. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes, right? Like all kinds of different things going on behind the scenes. And don't worry, guys. We will turn this into a Q&A session. I will answer your questions. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. So don't worry. But we are, we can, is the audio a little quiet for you guys? That's one of the reasons why we're kind of testing this out, is to see how this sounds, and I sound a little low on the volume. Okay. That's really the whole point of this, is to test this out and to see Let's see, make ourselves louder. All right. Let me know if this sounds a little bit better for you guys. It might be a little too loud. I'll go ahead and turn this down a smidge. But let's see. Okay, so a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes. A lot of you guys know that I have a personal channel. And on this personal channel, one of the things that I've been focusing on is a series called Becoming the Rock, right? The idea of spiritually and philosophically, and then of course physically, bulking up and losing weight and so on, becoming the Rock. And the idea behind this was to sort of see if I could make it work, right? And so on the personal channel, I basically the way this works out right now, at least the way it'll be going forward, is Mondays will be the According to Rob videos, right? Videos where I basically talk to you guys about all kinds of life stuff and different things like that. Wednesdays will basically be days where I really kind of chill with you guys. To be honest with you guys, we basically sort of relax. That sounds better? Okay, it sounds a whole lot better to you guys. I sound perfect now. All right, audio is good. Okay, cool. I kind of figured that all it was really going to take is just, sort of turning it up a bit and just kind of going from there. Sound quality is good. Awesome. That's sexy voice. Hold on a second. Donny Cates is going to be on Thor, and yeah, Hickman's on X-Men, but Donny Cates is going to be on Thor. Wow, that's going to be kind of bonkers. God, I'm getting so sidetracked. I'm getting painfully sidetracked. Okay, so the idea is that Monday, and my little notebook is upstairs. I had all this into myself. Monday is the day where I do According to Rob, right? Friday is where I do Becoming the Rock, right? So like basically make a video addressing the idea of Becoming the Rock. Really, the big thing, like Instagram, for example, is something that I'm really pushing, right? Like, make sure you guys check out my personal Instagram. I am Rob Jefferson. That's where I do live streams and I hang out and talk to you guys, right? Because we don't do the Q&A sessions on Comics Explained all that often. But on Instagram, I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? Like I jump onto Instagram and live stream to you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today I didn't get a chance to do it because it's been so exceedingly busy, and I might actually do it after this. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when I live stream and I talk to you guys. Which I really dig, which I really enjoy doing. And then, yeah, so Wednesday is actually going to be the podcast. And that's really what one of the things I want to talk about here, this notion of launching a podcast. The podcast that I want to launch is part of it. I want to deal with comics, but I don't want it to all be comics, right? And one of the reasons why is because when it comes to the comic book landscape, it won't last forever, right? So I don't want to be so totally immersed in comics that when the comic book scene sort of begins to fade away, that I fade away with it. Instead, I want to be able to branch out and talk about other things, right? So the first half an hour we'll deal with comics, right? So we'll have a half an hour of the podcast where we talk about comic book related things, right? And that'll become more clear once I actually launch it. And then for the 15 minutes following that, we're going to have a discussion of sorts on gaming, and then we're going to wrap it all up with basically a tech-based discussion. And that'll be the hour-long podcast. It lets me hit various different discussions, and I like that. I like the idea. I like the concept of doing that. So on the personal channel, it'll be Monday, According to Rob, where I just talk to you guys about life things. Wednesday will be the podcast, and then Friday will basically be me doing Becoming the Rock video, where I basically make kind of a discussion type video recapping everything that's happened over the last week. And the reason why is because the idea behind the personal, kind of a nerdcast, exactly. Hitting geek culture for the most part. And the biggest reason why being on Painkiller already was really fun. But one of the big reasons why is because the entire basis, the entire theme behind the personal channel that I run is finding the light at the end of the tunnel, right? You, me, everybody struggles with things. Social awkwardness. We struggle with wanting to ask out a girl and being rejected. We struggle with wanting to ask out a guy and being rejected, right? Because I've got some female fans in here. We struggle with all kinds of different things. And the idea is to kind of impart my life experience to you guys and help you guys get past those various things to help you reach the light at the end of the tunnel, right? To reach a better place. So having said that, that's really kind of the big thing. Make sure you guys go check out my personal Instagram at I am Rob Jefferson. If you guys want to talk to me more often, you guys want me to do like want to interact with me and get your questions answered more often, especially if you're somebody here who doesn't get a chance to get your question answered. My personal Instagram is a really good place to have that done, right? And sometimes I bring you guys into the stream, so I talk to you directly, and everybody else just sort of watches the conversation unfold. I really like bringing you guys in and like talking directly to you guys in a conversation. It's pretty fun, face to face, so to speak. We're as close as we can get, considering that we're not right next to each other. But okay, so getting into your all's questions, right? So the Q&A session, the questions. There are a ton of questions. Everybody's asking all kinds of different things. It's just been kind of crazy. The Thing versus the Hulk. Okay, they fought a lot over the years, and I would say the Incredible Hulk would win because his strength is infinite. Mangog versus the Immortal Hulk. That's a really good question. Okay, how many of you guys are familiar with Mangog? How many of you guys know who Mangog is? If you know who Mangog is, just type yes, and if you don't, just say no. And depending on on how you guys respond, then we'll go accordingly. But I would say Mangog. Hands down, I would say Mangog. Like, even the Incredible Hulk as a Herald of Galactus, I would say Mangog, because he's just that powerful. It's kind of nuts. Well, I do answer Instagram through my live streams, because the problem was as soon as I hit you guys up, and I answer as many questions as I can, because the first day I told people that I had a personal Instagram, within like 2 hours it was 99 plus messages. It was just a ton of messages, and it was so unruly. The only way to really answer your all's questions on Instagram was to live stream to you guys, right? It was the most effective way to answer the question you guys had, to do it in a really, really fast pace. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I get so many questions coming in and as a personal message on Instagram that I can't possibly answer them all in a reasonable amount of time. So I live stream. No, okay. So Mangog is basically this being, and his origin is really kind of murky. It's just sort of a thing where he was there one day, but the way it played out, if you go and you read the old Journey into Mystery comics, the old Journey into Mystery stories, Mangog was basically the last member, or really just kind of like this amalgamation of all this race's hate that was wiped out by Odin. And so it's literally a being of like pure hatred and rage, is literally all it is. And it's one of the only things that Odin is afraid of, right? I mean, when Mangog comes calling to Asgard, all hell's gonna break loose. It's basically the end times, right? That's really what that is. Like, things are getting ready to pop off, and it's all getting ready to come to an end. But it's kind of bonkers. I actually don't have Super Chat enabled on here at the moment. Instead, I wanted to try to answer your all's questions as much as I could. I do enjoy the idea of Super Chat. The fact that some of you guys can particularly have your questions answered. It can just be kind of difficult at times, because Super Chats, because of the fact that people are paying, of course, I give those questions precedent, but it means that some of you guys who aren't paying end up getting left out, and I don't really like that, and so that's one of the reasons why in the past when I did Super Chat, I would answer a whole bunch of Super Chats, and then I would say, okay, we're going to stop with those for a second and answer a bunch of your all's questions. And we'll go back to doing that. We'll go back to enabling Super Chat. But again, if you guys want to talk to me more frequently, make sure you guys check out my Instagram at @IamRobJefferson. Mangog is Kratos. Oh man, it was, I long for those days when you could answer all questions. Yeah, when I did live streams and like 20 people showed up because my channel was brand new. In some ways, I kind of long for that too. I kind of miss the days when it was a lot simpler. But the cool thing about it, and this is one of the best parts of being a YouTuber, the coolest thing about being a YouTuber is being able to go places and meet you guys. Oh, I love meeting you guys. There was one guy, I think his name was David. It was like David or Mike, I think. I was actually sitting in a car with my stepmom. We were driving out to Logan's to meet Mariah and my sister for lunch when Mariah and I visited Lexington. And I was sitting there with the window down, and I was talking to my stepmom, and then I hear this guy. He's like, "Yo, Rob!" And I'm like, "What the hell?" And I look over, and he's like, "Rob Core." This guy's like 2 car lanes over. And shouts at me, and it's stuff like that. Like, I love meeting you guys. You guys are awesome, right? So I mean, it's one of the best parts of being a YouTuber. So, any thoughts on DC's Tales from the Dark Multiverse stories? I'm actually really looking forward to that. I feel like it's going to be Tales from the Lantern Corps by Jeff Johns when he was writing Green Lantern, which we are going to get back into. But I feel like it'll be on a much bigger scale, right? I'm really looking forward to seeing what all we have to offer. At the end of the day, though, like any other comic book story that's out there, it really comes down to how it's being written. And I think it's Scott Snyder who's doing it. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember who it was, the writing and art team for it. But if the stories are written terrible, well, of course, I'm going to lose interest in it. But if the stories are written really, really well, then it'll be really fascinating, and I'm really exciting to see what happens. Who are the Thunderbolts? The Thunderbolts are a team that were assembled during the events of Civil War. And the idea was to basically take the villains and then use them as a means to basically go find superheroes. Because Thunderbolts proved to be so popular during the events of Civil War, and it may have been formed before then, but because Thunderbolts proved to be so popular during the events of Civil War, Marvel kept it going. The issue is that after Civil War, it kind of waxed and waned a little bit, and I really think the team peaked when you had Red Hulk and Deadpool and Elektra and 1 or 2 other people. I can't remember who they were, and then it just kind of dropped off after that. I sort of lost interest after that. But basically, think of the Thunderbolts as like the Legion of Doom from DC Comics, except sometimes they're good guys, and that's really kind of it. The original team was led by Baron Helmet, Helmet Zemo. Helmut Zemo? Who was it that led the original, led the first Thunderbolts? Yeah, Baron Helmut Zemo. Yeah. So, let's see. Can I explain who Darkhawk is? I may do that. Darkhawk's one of those characters where I would make a video explaining the character if there was a reason to, like if an announcement was made. But for the most part, it doesn't really seem to involve anything going on at the moment, so there really doesn't really seem to be a reason to, unless I'm missing something. So, Shumagorath, definitely. I see you type in Shumagorath. Very, very powerful character. It's kind of nuts. Let's see. Hey Rob, is there any advice on how to get started doing YouTube? Make your videos, be consistent, upload a video every day, be consistent, make your videos over 10 minutes, and use Google Trends as a means to search for topics that people are looking for. So, let's see. Strangers randomly scream your name in public. Hilarious, yet telling you at the same time. Yes, it is. Let's see. Do I think the comic industry will die in the near future? Absolutely not. Comics are always going to be popular. Even if they go back to being a niche thing, like comic book movies basically drop off in popularity, even if they go back to being a niche thing, they're always going to be popular. Comic books are always going to be a huge thing. So that's not really going to change. That's always going to be a concept or a big deal. So, Christian Bale is live action Batman. Batman Who Laughs. Thoughts? I don't really see it happening. I think you'd have to grab somebody else. Christian Bale doesn't really have... Because what you would need is somebody who could play the Joker, right? Like, that's what you would need. Not Christian Bale. If Heath Ledger was alive, like Heath Ledger is a Batman Who Laughs, would be insanely amazing. But, you need someone who can play the Joker, because all the Batman Who Laughs is the Joker with the intelligence of Batman. That's really all it is, and so it's really more Joker than Batman in terms of personality. That's really what you need. So, let's see. What are my thoughts on Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil? I haven't read it, but you guys have been screaming at me and telling me it's amazing. So I guess I should, right? I mean, I hit up Sal before New York, or Sal hit me up before New York when he found out I wasn't going, and we were kind of we were going back and forth about a lot of the comics that were out, talking about SpiderMan, different things like that. He said Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil is amazing. So if it's really that good, then I'll have to check it out. I'll have to take a look at it. Let's see. I don't know why that's held for review. Legion of Superheroes versus X-Men, but only because I'm biased, because I like the X-Men more. Because I'm an X-Men fan through and through, and that's just the way it is. Speaking of which, I meant to ask you guys, what do you guys think about this backdrop? What do you guys think about this background here? The orange light in the back and the bar area. By the way, that picture right there, that's SpiderMan by Alex Ross. So, and actually back there behind the curtain is a picture of the Incredible Hulk by Alex Ross. So, but let me know what you guys think about that. Oh, man. A Jeff Johns and Hickman team-up would be insane. I would dig that. The Fulcrum versus the Beyonders. Well, that's the thing. We don't know a whole lot about the Fulcrum, right? The Fulcrum just showed up during the events of Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and it's alluded to that the Fulcrum is basically the one above all, but we don't know. If the Fulcrum is the one above all, then the Beyonders are done like that. If the Fulcrum is just a really powerful entity, basically anybody but the one above all, then the Beyonders win, and that's really what it comes down to. It looks nice. You love it. I like it. Nah. Oh, man. Okay. How do you want Wolverine to be introduced into the MCU? And do I think Hickman should help write the MCU movies? Okay, here's the thing with Hickman. I think Hickman would be better, instead of writing a singular movie, I think Hickman would be better at, like, planning movies, right? Because Hickman is, one of the big things about Hickman, love it or hate it, and it's something that I love, Hickman's really good with the slow burn, right? He's really good at telling a story that takes 5 years to flesh out. It takes 5 years to finish. Hickman is incredibly good about that. Writing really short stories that kind of begin and end, Hickman is okay with that, right? But I think he's better with like long form stories where he has some room to flex his writing muscles and he can kind of, sort of let loose and let things kind of go out for a little while. So I think Hickman writing, like planning out the X-Men in the MCU is a really, really good idea. Having said that, the way that I would introduce Wolverine is I would say that after the events of after the events of Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, which I have a video on this, by the way, after the events of Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, with Sam Wilson becoming the new Captain America, while for the most parts that's accepted, Sam Wilson has no super soldier serum. And what America wants is a super soldier, right? And so they basically try to duplicate the serum of Abraham Erskine, which nobody can do because, one, he's been gone for 70 years, and two, he died, 70 years ago. And so what they end up doing is taking like a handful of different people and basically trying to experiment on them more or less. They end up finding James Howlett, who's part of Team X, this kind of Black Ops wet work team, that takes out performs all kinds of different tasks. They bring him in. They discover that he has a mutant gene, or at least some kind of extra gene that, when activated, gives people powers. Essentially, the ultimate universe origin of the X-Men, and then you end up having Wolverine going forward, and then the thing is synthesized, and mutants everywhere start waking up across the world, or something like that. Who is the strongest Spider-Man? It is Spider-Man from Earth 13, I think it is. The version of Peter Parker who never lost the Enigma Force after his battle with the Tri-Sentinel, I think it was, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Willem Dafoe is the Batman Who Laughs. There you go. That's a really good call. He can be really, really dark, so he could be really, really solid. Do I write a script for my videos? Sometimes I do. If it's a video like beyond Omega level, yes. Usually I'll write a script on that. If it is a video where I'm just running over a comic or I'm explaining a character, no. Like if I'm doing like Magneto Explained, it's not a script. It's all off the top of my head, all the stuff that I know. Sometimes I might have to do research depending on how in-depth I want to go, but for the most part, it's just stuff that I know. So, let's see. What are my predictions for Dawn of X? It's going to take about 3 years to finish. That's my prediction on Dawn. No, I don't even think so. Because 3 years, you're talking about 36 issues, right? So Hickman, he'll probably end up writing it for 5 to 8 years, I think. But honestly, I don't really know. I mean, we won't know until this coming Wednesday with the end of Powers of X. That's when we'll really find out what to expect going into like Dawn of X and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. What am I mixed with? I'm part black and part white. Can I please say what up, Home Slice? What up, Home Slice? What'd it be like? Does the new Joker dethrone Endgame? No, I don't think it dethrones Endgame because you're talking about two different types of movies. And no spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything. But you're talking about two different types of movies. The Joker is a solo film that focuses on a particular character, right? And like the evolution of that character and how they became who they are and different things like that. What goes into their mindset and so on and so forth. Avengers Endgame was an ensemble film, right? It was just a great big huge battle, very big huge conflict. So you're talking about two different types of films, right? It's like asking if Indiana Jones, a movie about Indiana Jones is better than like Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's they're both in the realm of fantasy, but at the end of the day, like, you're talking about an ensemble film versus a solo film, more or less, with a supporting cast. So, what do I think of House of X? I love House of X. Absolutely adore House of X. I think it's good to see the X-Men basically getting their return, right? After the events of All New, All Different Marvel, the X-Men have kind of been screwed over really, really bad, right? Marvel was really pushing the Inhumans. From what I understand, it was editorial mandate, but Marvel was really pushing the Inhumans because of the fact that Fox wouldn't give them back, and so Marvel was being kind of pissy about it. Nobody wanted the Inhumans. The Inhumans sucked. They've always sucked. Like, they've never been interesting. I mean, they've had interesting stories, but the Inhumans themselves were never interesting or intriguing. Hence the reason why, they weren't really well received by fans. And the result was that, the X-Men, people were kind of pissed off about that, but now Marvel's finally bringing the X-Men back to prominence, and Hickman's the man to do it, so I'm really enjoying that. So, let's see. Could the MCU potentially start Secret Wars soon? Not soon. I would say if they're going to do Secret Wars, you're talking about 5 to 10 years from now. You're talking about a little while from now, right? Like building up to it. If I were the Marvel Cinematic Universe, honestly, I would focus on Galactus. I'd focus on Silver Surfer, and then I would focus on Annihilation as like the next big event, right? That's what I would focus on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Deceased or Marvel Zombies? Marvel Zombies, but only because it was more fleshed out. If Deceased went on longer and they expanded that universe more, then honestly, they'd probably be about even. I mean, you're talking about Robert Kirkman writing Marvel Zombies versus Tom Taylor writing Deceased. I don't know. I would say probably, they'd be pretty even in terms of how it goes. What kind of music do I listen to? I love EDM. I love electronic dance music. I have since I first heard the A State of Trance year mix in 2004. And then after that, it was In Search of Sunrise, and I got into Paul Oakenfold, and then I got into more Tiesto stuff, and then discovered like Cascade and different things like that. I also love lo-fi hip-hop. Absolutely love lo-fi hip-hop. It's really good to relax to. If I'm taking a bath and I just want to like relax, I'll listen to lo-fi hip-hop. If I'm editing photos, for Instagram, I'll listen to lo-fi hip-hop. I like rock music, so like 80s rock, hair band rock, basically. I enjoy almost all kind of music, except for like hee-haw, gospel quartet, country music kind of stuff. Not really into that too much. I was when I was younger, but not so much now. Let's see. What up, Rob? How do you get started with weight loss? Well, a really good what I ended up doing, and it actually worked for me, is I went online, looked at a calculator to see how many calories I was supposed to eat, and then I would eat that many calories, and I would measure my weight every day for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I would see how much of a change there was. If I was losing weight, then I would kind of start increasing my calories by about 100 calories a day until my weight stayed constant. Then I would know that's how many calories I need to eat, and then eat less than that. That's basically what it is. Unless you're lifting weights, and then of course you have to compensate for the weight you want to put on and building muscle, which means eating more calories and then eating more protein. So, thoughts on Fat Thor? Absolutely loved Fat Thor. I don't really watch anime too much. Mariah got me to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which, yeah, it was enjoyable, but I wouldn't go back and watch it again. And then she got me to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender from season 2, I think, to the end of the show. And again, that one was okay. I probably wouldn't watch it again. Never really was a huge fan of anime outside of Dragon Ball Z. It was just never really something that I got into. So, let's see. Who do I think would win in Death Battle, Inhumans, and the X-Men? The X-Men. There's more of them, and they're more powerful. So I would definitely say the X-Men. Let's see. I don't know why this is hell for review. Oh, because it's got a curse word in it. It's like samurai shampoo. Yes, it is. Whatever that happens to be. Oh, do I go to the gym too? No, I have a gym in my garage. I've got all of my weights and everything all in my garage. So, let's see. Would I ever get contacts? Actually, I've considered LASIK surgery. And basically removing the need for glasses. I'm still toying around with the idea. Not 100% sure I'm comfortable with surgery being performed on my eyes, but from what I understand, it's basically foolproof now. But I don't want to be that 99.9%. I don't want to be that 0.01% where things go bad and I'm basically blind for the rest of my life. I don't want to be that guy. Let's see. Ever play Borderlands? Love Borderlands. Borderlands 2 is the only one. Well, Borderlands 2 and then Borderlands the pre-sequel, which sucked. But Borderlands 2 was the one that I played. I enjoyed that one. Never played Borderlands 1, and I have not played Borderlands 3 yet. But I did enjoy Borderlands 2. Absolutely loved it. Let's see. Do I think DC will ever bring back the Image Comics? Image Comics is not part of DC. Image Comics is its own wholly separate brand, its own subsidiary, right? It's its own thing, an independent comic book house. So DC doesn't really have any involvement in that. So excited to hear about the new podcast. I actually explained it at the beginning of the stream. So if you want to, feel free to go back and watch that, and then when you're finished, just hit live on the screen again, and it'll bring you back to where we are at the moment. So. Let's see. Am I going to do a video on the new official DC's timeline? Yes. And in fact, I'm actually working on I'm organizing it right now and structuring it. I think a lot of you guys are going to dig this because you've been asking for it for a while. I'm actually organizing it and structuring it based on what Scott Snyder's doing with Perpetua and the multiverse and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do a history of the DC universe, like I did a history of the Marvel universe. The history of the Marvel universe was only designed to run up until the modern day, which is to say the rise of superheroes in the 1960s. DC will be the same way. It'll be like the rise of superheroes, probably going up to Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that's when it'll stop, because DC hasn't really rebooted since then. Maybe going up to the New 52 and Dr. Manhattan only because of the Watchmen's involvement and everything, but yeah. So, what are my thoughts on the Spectre movie? I don't know if I'd go watch a movie about the Spectre. I think it's a cool idea, but I don't really know if I would go watch a movie about the wrath of God, or about the judgment of God. I don't know if I would really get into that too much. Would I want to help write comic books? Funny enough, probably not. One of my big goals, one of the things I'd love to do is to basically advise the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the direction of the X-Men in the MCU, to be part of that kind of creative team that basically moves the X-Men, to where they're going to be. I would love to do that, right? Because, I can say without arrogance, I'm probably in the top 1%, if not the top 1% of the 1% most knowledgeable people on the planet about the X-Men, right? I've been reading them for 25 years. I'm very, very knowledgeable about the team. Not to mention all the research and all the things that I'd looked up, before I started reading comics, about the team and so on. So if I'm being honest, I think I could be a pretty huge asset to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in helping to build the X-Men and move them in a forward direction. So did we keep the cat? Yes. We still have a week for the original owners to claim them. For those of you guys who don't know, I was actually talking about this on my vlogging channel, my personal vlogging channel, which is Robert Jefferson here on YouTube, just youtube.com/Robert Jefferson. Make sure you go check it out and subscribe. But I was talking about that. Myself and Mariah actually has a cooking stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/eatcodes, where she basically cooks her way through video game themed cookbooks, and which is a really, really cool idea. And she was finishing up her stream, and like a cat ran by the back door, and I was like, dude, there's a cat that ran by the back door. And so we go to look at it, and this little kitten, this little itty bitty kitten that looked like it was 4 months old, you know, or not even that old, and it was trying to get under the house, and we caught it, and we brought it in, we fed it, you know, watered it, and kept it for the night. And then the next day, Mariah took it to the Humane Society and said, hey, look, we found this cat, we're not really sure what to do. And they said, well, you have 14 days for the original owners to claim it, to basically report the cat as lost, and it wasn't microchipped, so we don't know who the owners are. And so they were like, you have about 14 days to claim it, and if nobody claims it after that 14 days, then the cat belongs to you. So we have a week left until that 14 days is over. So, let's see. What are my thoughts on Galactus versus Mangog or Franklin Richards versus him? Well, if you're talking about him, that means you're talking about Adam Warlock, and Franklin Richards would demolish him. And Galactus versus Mangog? I don't know. I don't really see... Ooh, crap. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, man. My camera kicked off for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. But, anyway, Mangog would... Or, yeah, Galactus could destroy Mangog. He would just wipe him out of existence. So... that wouldn't really be much of a contest between the two. So, yeah, it's my camera kicked off. I'm not really sure why. I thought I had it set to where it would never actually go off, but maybe I need to double check that setting and make sure. Hopefully, everybody in the world doesn't start bailing out. So, Blackout. Well, see, what had happened was, you guys are paying respects. For those guys who don't know, that started on Twitch. There was, what is it, in the, and yeah, everybody type F. Everybody in the chat type F. Just type the letter F. Just do that. The way that started out was, and I didn't really know it initially until I saw until I was watching E3 or whatever it was. And they were showing the trailer for the new God of War, which of course this was a while ago. And there's one point where like the sun gets hit or something like that. I can't remember. And everybody in the chat starts typing F. And I'm like, what in the heck does that mean? And Benny's like, well, and one of the Call of Duty games, there's a scene where you can press F to pay respects. And the result was that like everybody started typing F whenever somebody dies, basically, is kind of what that's a reference to. So everybody's typing F now. Somebody type F4. Here's a funny thing. If you type Alt F4, it'll automatically exit your screen. It'll automatically kick your screen off, like close your window. So, let's see. Hold on a second. There's questions coming in. Could we possibly work together in the future? I mean, send me an email. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but send me an email. I'm a little picky about who I choose to work with, just because of the fact that in the comic book or at least in the comic book YouTube landscape right now, there's a lot of people who really kind of like to stir up trouble and cause issues, and I try to avoid that. And one of the things I learned with somebody that I previously worked with is that once they make that turn, it can kind of come back and look bad on me and basically end up damaging my brand, which is not something that I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I mean, send me an email. That's not to say I won't work with you, but send me an email and we'll go from there. So, no, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really a huge fan of manga. So, let's see. For anime, gotta watch Death Note and Code. Yeah, I heard Death Note's really, really good. It seems kind of weird having some spirit follow you around and getting you to kill people. That's kind of strange. But let's see. When should Marvel insert the stranger cosmic entity into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? They could do that at any point. They could do that at pretty much any point in time. There's really no limit to them being able to pull that off, just because of the fact that I don't know. I mean, it's the stranger, right? They don't have to explain who he is, because we don't really even know who he is in the Marvel comics. There's one instance in like the comics, I think, with the Living Tribunal is like the stranger represents like my fourth face, and the stranger's like, no, I don't either. You know, it's something along those lines. I can't remember. It's it's kind of wild. But yeah, we kept the cat we found. Did you guys hear the story of keeping the cat? Yeah, we definitely kept the cat that we found. So let's see. I should do House Powers of X. My email is rob@comicsexplained.com. Yeah, so That's a really good way to get a hold of me. Also, again, like if you guys are also interested in working with me and stuff too, make sure you follow my personal Instagram at I am Rob Jefferson. I live stream to you guys all the time over there. So if you're trying to get a hold of me, that's one of the better ways to get a hold of me at I am Rob Jefferson and hit me up. So AEW or NXT, AEW. Dude, that show the other night was amazing. It was a great way to start their first television event. So let's see. Do I think the MCU hit its peak? No, I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing you guys have to remember. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, here's what we have. Oh, here's Fufu Cuddly Poops. Here's the kitty. You guys were asking about the kitty. Here is the kitty. Here is the kitten. Fufu Cuddly Poops is actually what we named her. Is the name she's been given so far. She's like, please help me. Help me. Help me. Thoughts on Onslaught in the MCU? I mean, I'd love to see Onslaught in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you're talking about it would be a while before we'd be able to see that happen. But it'd be a while before that took place. Have I ever watched Legends of Tomorrow? I watched the first 2 seasons, didn't really get into it. Apparently, I stopped watching before it got good. Apparently, it got really good in the 3rd season. And if that's the case, I need to go back and watch season 3. So, but no, I don't think the MCU has hit its peak, right? Because here's what you've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Like here's basically what you've seen. You've seen Thanos basically going on a trek to capture the Infinity Gauntlet. The Guardians of the Galaxy figured out what was going on halfway through and tried to stop him, and everybody on Earth was totally oblivious until he got there. And then they fought Thanos, and he basically wiped out half the life in the universe. And then 5 years later, they fought him again. They went back in time and they changed everything and won. What you've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is basically a 6-issue story arc from Marvel Comics. That's it, right? That's basically it. It's the equivalent of a 6-issue story arc with some tie-ins, right? Like some one-shots. The origin of Thor, the origin of Iron Man, the origin of Captain America, and that's basically it. We haven't even begun to scratch the tip of the iceberg there, all right? I mean, right now, with the last 10 years we've seen, we're at the tip of the very, very tip of the very, very top of the very point of this iceberg, right? Like, it would take, I mean, honestly, if they decided to make movies about Marvel Comics, they could do it for hundreds of years, right? I mean, there's just so much to do. There's so much to cover. Now, does it mean it would be successful? No. Not everything would be good. If they made a movie about Unis the Untouchable, it would flop. But you know, Unis the Untouchable, by the way, was a guy who had the ability to create force fields. And I want to say that like either he lost control of his powers or like Jean Grey shut them off or something like that, and he ended up suffocating inside his own force field. It was kind of crappy. Do not trust the cat. Cats are evil. Oh man. Put my cat in a Hell in a Cell match against a New York City rat? No, I wouldn't either. That New York City rat would tear my cat apart. Do I think Homelander could defeat Superman? I don't know. I mean, he's basically a pastiche of Superman, so as far as I'm concerned, they're equal in power. But yes, I've seen The Boys on Amazon Prime. It's so good. Dude, the cliffhanger of the first season was nuts. I was like, are they for real? Like, are these guys serious? This cat's gnawing on me. Like, this cat is chewing on me. He's like, you taste delicious, human. I'd like to consume more of you. You taste good. Put that hand down, human. Put the hand down. When I play Mario Kart, do I ever pick Luigi? No. Nobody picks Luigi. Either you pick Little Princess Peach or you pick Little Princess Peach, basically. You pick the fastest characters, right? Like, Waluigi's relatively fast. Yes, you can pet my cat. Hold on a second here. Pet my kitty cat. Pet my cat. So, which is my favorite DC comic of all time or right now? At the moment, I would say, and I know this is going to be a sort of controversial, Tom King's Batman. I love Tom King's Batman run. So, let's see. Name the cat Dupe. I'm not going to name the cat Dupe. I'm not naming the cat after some weird character from the X-Men who was cool, but still weird, right? Like spoke some language that only Wolverine could understand. Like I'm not going to do that. So, Catman explained. Am I going to go see Birds of Prey? Absolutely. I'm excited at the idea of Birds of Prey. I am super hyped about Birds of Prey. I'm looking forward to it. I'm afraid my cat's going to step on I picked Luigi. WTF? Stop, kitty. You're going to spill this water all over the place. No, I'm not going to make the cat vape. Let's see. Have I seen the Uncut Gems trailer? No. Oh, no, Uncut Gems. Yeah. The one with Adam Sandler. Yeah, I saw that during the Joker film. They showed the trailer before the Joker movie. It looks amazing. Like, it looks really, really good. Imagine if the cat had my morning voice. Yeah, my morning voice is kind of insane. You guys heard it this morning when I recorded the Joker movie or the Joker video. It was basically my morning voice. It's super super deep. Yeah, I might do that on Instagram. Record an Instagram video or do an Instagram live stream when I first wake up, so you guys can hear my morning voice. For those of you guys who don't know, my personal Instagram is @IamRobJefferson. Go check it out and follow me over there. King Thor #1. Haven't read it yet. I actually need to. I'm kind of behind on Marvel, to be honest. Like, it's sort of painful. Like, I'm behind on, like, Invincible Iron Man and behind on a lot of stuff. I need to get caught up with Marvel Comics. So, let's see. Have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Yes, I love Ultimate Alliance. Oh, I have not played Ultimate Alliance 3. I played Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. I loved Ultimate Alliance. How many of you guys liked Ultimate Alliance? Like, how many of you guys dug that? It was really, really good. So, let's see. Who would I pick right now to play Norman Osborn in the MCU? If he wasn't so old, Tommy Lee Jones. But to play him right now, I don't know. I'd have to think. I have to look up actors to really get a feel for who I think should be able to play him. Yeah, I'd probably have to pick that up. So. Do I collect comics in physical or digital format? I get comics in physical format only if they're significant, only if they're really important to me, right? Like, I've got a copy of Giant Size X-Men #1 that I had signed by Jonathan Hickman and made out to me, right? Like, it was the craziest thing. We were at San Diego Comic-Con, myself and Mariah were, and I got Giant Size X-Men #1, and I got it signed by Hickman. Like, I'm standing there in line, and I presented it to him. He's like, "Hey, you're the Comics Explained guy." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "Dude, awesome." So he and I were talking, and I was like, "Dude, I'm so hyped you're writing the X-Men. I love everything that you do. What are your plans for it?" And he was telling me what his plans were, like what he wanted to do with everything and what direction it's all supposed to go in, which I can't tell you. But it was cool because I was like, "Well, dude, can you sign this for me?" And he's like, "Dude, is this real?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "I mean, you want me?" I was like, "Dude, make it out to me, man. I'm never gonna sell this." And dude, he's excited. Here's the thing: comic book writers they get really, really excited if you have a comic made out to yourself, if you have them make it out to you instead of just autographing it, because they think you're gonna sell it. But if it's made out to you, well, then it's your comic, right? They're just like, okay, this guy wants it because he really enjoys my work, not because he's trying to profit off of my work. Which I love what Hickman does. So yeah, I had it signed by him. So. Have I played Marvel Contest of Champions? I played it when it first came out, and I read the comic book when it first came out, but no, I haven't really played it since. So, let's see, Ultimate Alliance. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Ultimate Alliance. Yeah, Ultimate Alliance was really good too. So, let's see. How should they bring the Sentry into the MCU? The same way they do Wolverine, except just say it's a Sentry instead. I mean, they could kind of do it like he's been on ice for a while or something like that. But honestly, I wouldn't bring the Sentry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the moment. I really wouldn't do that. You know, I think that there's better characters to bring in besides him, right? So it'd be kind of funny though if they did the Sentry and then did it really, really well, because then people would be like, okay, so Marvel can do a better Superman than Warner Brothers, and people would be pissed about that. But yes, I'm enjoying Deceased. Absolutely love Deceased. Let's see. Who's my favorite and least favorite X-Man? Ooh, what a good question. My favorite X-Man. Well, he's not really an X-Man, but he is a mutant. It's definitely Apocalypse. My least favorite, probably Mystique. I never really found Mystique to be interesting. Like, I never really found her to be intriguing. She's okay, but I never really found her to be that spectacular. So, any lo-fi recommendations? Ooh, definitely Nujabes is a really good one. And then Nuages is a really, really good one. Nuajes, I think is how you pronounce it. Those are two really, really good lo-fi hip-hop artists. So, let's see. Do I think the MC will introduce the Elders of the Universe? I mean, they already have. They introduced... Actually, answer that question for me, guys. Who's your favorite X-Man? Like who's your favorite member of the X-Men team, or your favorite mutant in general? It doesn't have to be an X-Men, but who's your favorite member of the X-Men? So keep in mind, Deadpool's been an X-Man too. So, but I forgot what I was gonna say. I've never seen JoJo. Never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, did I start with the X-Men animated series? Yes, it was actually the X-Men animated series that got me into comics. So, I definitely started with, like a lot of people, I started with a TV show. So, Cyclops is the best. I have not started Flash Forward. So, who's my favorite Robin? Yours is Jarro. Oh, mine's definitely Mine's definitely Damian Wayne, because I like the progression of Damian's character. I like how his character's grown and changed over the years. So, Scarlet Witch, Magic, Gambit, Wolverine. Favorite X-Man is Magneto. That's a good choice. That's a good pick. Gabriel Summers. That's a really good pick, too. Vulcan's definitely one of the cooler characters out there. Everybody in the world is typing responses. The chat just exploded with responses. Old Man Logan is a good one. Old Man Logan is a really good one. Let's see. Gambit. Franklin Richards. Oh, man. Yeah, Gambit, if he's done right. That's definitely true. If he's done right, that's definitely a solid one. Yeah, 90s X-Men was really, really good. The show was. 90s X-Men comics were a pain. They were a hassle to try to read and understand. It was sort of nuts. Like, 90s comics were rough. The dude throws cards. Yes, he does. And it is pretty cool. It is a pretty awesome power to have. So, let's see. The memes are getting lame. Yeah, no super chat options. I kind of wanted to stick to non-super chat and just sort of answer a lot of the questions you guys have. The next Q&A we do, we'll bring it back. But I just kind of wanted to focus on you guys as opposed to, doing the super chats, because it's been a while since we've done this. So, but again, if you guys are interested in talking to me more frequently in like live streams or being in my live streams, check me out at I am Rob Jefferson on Instagram, and I'll incorporate you guys into my live streams, different things like that. So I actually bring you guys into the streams and talk to you all directly, which is really cool, which is really, really enjoyable. Crash against me and be broken. Dude, Apocalypse had the best one-liners in X-Men the Animated Series. Okay, here's a question that I have for you guys, because I asked this in a previous stream. Here's a question that I have for you guys, all right? And be honest here. Be honest here, all right? If you cook the books, I'll know, right? If you fib, I will know. Say that you're stuck on a desert island and you only get to watch one TV show for the rest of your life. Which TV show do you pick? Batman the Animated Series or the original Teen Titans? Which one do you pick? I want to know. I want to see what you guys say. I want to see what you guys say. So, Channing Tatum will not be Gambit? No, he won't. Like, Channing Tatum was never going to be Gambit. Anybody who ever believed that Gambit movie was going to be made, no, that was never going to happen. So, let's see. Darth Vader versus Magneto. Darth Vader. that's not even a question. So, Secret Six explained only because Catman is in it. Rob noticed it. Catman. All right, I'll have to go. Oh no, Catman's a guy from the Justice Society of America, right? The guy who dresses as the Black Cat. Batman TAS, Lost Bats, Batman. Everybody's saying Batman. Everybody's saying Batman the Animated Series. All right, there's some original Teen Titans, but everybody's saying Batman. Everybody's saying Batman the Animated Series. Oh man. The Secret Six show did not go forward. That kind of sucks. So, Teen Titans is longer. Yeah, it does go on longer. So, but it is Batman the Animated Series though. The first season had like 1 million episodes. It was insane. It had like 100,000 episodes. It was crazy. Okay. I'm going to turn this Q&A session on you guys, right? Because I like asking you guys questions, because I like hearing your all's answers. Okay, which version of Flash is your favorite? Because somebody asked me, right? Like Alex asked me. My favorite is Barry. Which version of the Flash is your favorite? Is it Barry? Is it Wally? Is it well, you could choose any of the speedsters, right? So you could choose like Barry, Wally, Impulse if you wanted to. Which Flash is your favorite? Which Flash do you like the most? So, yes, I'm very excited for Birds of Prey. I'm very, very hyped for Birds of Prey. So, let's see. Kitty is sleeping. Yeah, Kitty is sound asleep. The kitty is sleeping. Thank God. This cat earlier today, me and Mariah couldn't figure it out. We were like, what are you on? Like this cat was like flying around the damn house and everything. It was like it ate sugar or something like that. We were like, what is your deal, kitty? What is your problem, kitty? Barry. Classic Wally West. That's a good point. I'm sorry, that's a good choice. Earth 2 Flash, Jay Garrick. Yeah, Jay Garrick, because he's the original. That's a good choice. Barry Allen. Barry all the way. Huh. Barry. Wow. All of it, like a lot of people really seem to be fans of Barry Allen. Wally West. Okay, we're getting a lot of Wally West now. We're getting a lot of Wally West responses. Flash Gordon. Ah. Flash. Accelerated Man. Okay. What's another good question? Okay. Which one do you guys like better? Batman or Moon Knight? Let's see what these responses are. Johnny Thunder. Johnny Thunder is a good choice. So, you think Birds of Prey looks bad? No, I think Birds of Prey looks fun. That's one of the things that I think is the most important, right? It's not a matter of whether or not the movie's like blockbuster and like Oscar worthy or anything like that, right? Like Marvel's got their really serious films for the most part. What I like are the films that are fun, right? Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe films are great films, but I also like the fun film. That's why Shazam was so amazing. Shazam was like, what if a kid became Superman, right? I was like, dude, I remember being a kid and wishing I was Superman, and I would have done that. I would have gone to the store and bought like nudie magazines and beer. Like it would have been awesome. But no, it was you know, it looks good. Like it looks fun. It looks like it's gonna be an enjoyable movie. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Batman. Lots of Batman. Hold on. What was this question? Who's my favorite YouTuber that I'm not friends with? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably Peter McKinnon. I'm a huge fan of his YouTube channel. So I'd love to spend like a day with that guy. And he's just like he'll just teach me everything he knows about like how to shoot really good videos, how to shoot like B-roll. I would love that, right? To shoot B-roll and take pictures. I would love to spend a day with that guy, and that would be like I'd be like, dude, I'll fly to Canada because I think he's in Toronto. I was like, I'll fly to Toronto and we'll just hang out for like a day, and you just teach me everything you know, and then I will put it to use, and then I will go back home. I would love to do that. That would be amazing. So, I found your lost cat. Mailer to you. If you guys have a question, just type it, and I'll get to it as best I can. But again, if I don't get to your questions here, if you follow me at I am Rob Jefferson on Instagram, I'll probably answer your question there. You probably stand a better chance of getting an answer there. So thoughts on Brightburn? I loved Brightburn. How many of you guys have seen Brightburn? Answer that question for me. How many of you guys have seen it? I loved Brightburn. I think Brightburn has incredible potential with building up like a dark superhero MC, not even a superhero, like Earth 3 basically, giving us like Earth 3 characters. I think it'd be awesome. Like I love that idea. Ask Sentry or Superman. How do I balance Marvel versus DC? Honestly, I don't really worry about Marvel versus DC. I just read whatever stories are interesting to me. The whole notion of like who's better, Marvel versus DC, I lost interest in that 20 years ago. Right? I mean, it doesn't really matter to me too much anymore. Now it's just, do I like the story, right? And it's because it's the nature of the industry that sometimes, like some publishers like Marvel will do really, really well, and DC will do bad. And DC will do well, and Marvel will do bad. And sometimes they both do well, and sometimes they both do bad. They both did bad in the 1990s, and they both did well in the mid-2000s. So it depends on which one you enjoy. So you know, it's really just, you know, what kind of character you like. Oh, I'm sorry, what kind of publisher you like. So Brightburn was dope. It was definitely dope. It was a great movie. Where should I start with Constantine Hellblazer? I like Doctor Strange, and I love Neil Gaiman's take on Sandman. So I get Hellblazer recommendations recommended to me a lot. Honestly, if you want to read Hellblazer, it depends on how far back you want to go. If you want to read John Constantine, who ages in real time, go read the original Constantine run. If all you want is what's going on right now, just read the Constantine Rebirth, and then just go, or I guess the Hellblazer Rebirth, and then go forward from there. That's really all you need. So that's kind of the benefit of of DC's magic side, is it's not like Marvel with Doctor Strange, right? I mean, even with Marvel, Doctor Strange is kind of like that. But DC's is so far removed from the rest of the superhero landscape that it's really its own thing, right? It might as well be its own imprint, which, you know, it used to be Vertigo, and now it's not. Now it's DC. So, favorite Green Lantern? My favorite Green Lantern is probably John Stewart. Who's your all's favorite Green Lantern? Answer that question for me. Let's see. Will we ever get a chance at Rob Core rings again? Okay, so here's the deal with Rob Core rings, and I'm trying to figure this out. Right now on Patreon, I had it set up, and it was the only real amicable way that I could think of doing it, and keep like the demand low. Not super high that I would sell out immediately, right? Because if I made a YouTube video right now and I said, hey guys, Rob Core rings are for sale, go to this place and buy them, unless they have like an insane supply, they would be sold out in the blink of an eye, right? I wouldn't be able to keep up with demand. And so because of that, I was trying to find a way to kind of make it work. And on Patreon, if you paid 20 bucks a month, there was like a lottery system. But the more I thought about that, the more I was kind of like, that's not really a cool thing. So what I might do is I might remove it from Patreon. And I might go ahead and just say all those people right now who have been paying like 20 bucks a month for a chance to get one, they all get it, right? They all basically get a payout for it. And then what I'll probably do is just do like short sales and just say, okay guys, for, you know, I have like 100 Rob Core rings for sale. The first 100 people to send me an email get it. And then like, you know, like send me however much money on PayPal, and then I'll send it off to you, right? Like once the PayPal transaction is complete, then like it'll be emailed to you, or I'm sorry, be mailed to you. I might do that. I think that's a more reasonable way to do it, so that a lot of people can get them, and at the same time, kind of keep the numbers low. I think I might do that. So it seems like it would be a better alternative. Still like 20 at a time, or like 50 at a time, or something along those lines. So, let's see. Will I cover Darth Vader comics? I've thought about that. I'm not 100% sure. I know Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader was amazing. What was that one that there's this one point where like the Rebel Alliance catches up to Darth Vader and they're like, there's nowhere you can go, you're surrounded. And he's like, all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. It was pretty amazing. Like it was one of the most ballin' things I've ever seen. It was pretty badass. So, I didn't really watch the Constantine TV show, and judging by the fact that it was canceled, I don't really think most people watched it. So, let's see. Okay. Well, guys, we've been doing this for about an hour or so, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce off here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. Make sure you guys go follow my Instagram at @IamRobJefferson. I live stream there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I bring you guys into my stream, so I talk to you directly, and it's a way for you to get your questions answered or to interact with me more frequently than how I do on here, right? So make sure you guys go check that out. And yeah, so make sure you guys go check out my vlogging channel. The podcast will be up every Wednesday, and then of course I have my own videos that come out every Monday and every Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we have videos going up on that channel. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. There's a pretty big backlog of videos, about 200 videos that are already there. I think you guys would really enjoy it. You guys would love to go check it out, or would definitely love it if you checked it out. So yeah, go take a look at everything, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce off here, guys. Thank you for coming out. It was awesome talking to you all, and I will catch you all later. Peace.